Chapter 6. The Yakuza Way. Fading in, we see Reina taking care of Oda on the couch while Nishiki and Kiryu look on. Nishiki apologizes to us for not doing anything to help. We counter-apologize by saying we were sorry we got him involved in this mess to begin with. Oda, sitting up, asks us what we're gonna do now. He knows Iwano told us to go Tachibana since he mentioned it while we were busy outside. Nishiki lets us know that the Dojima family is starting an all-out search for Tachibana. He even urged Nishiki to let us know again that giving up Tachibana is the only way we get to make it out alive. Oda, jumping to conclusions, thinks we're gonna give up Tachibana to save ourselves. Nishiki yells at him to shut up, leading to Oda taking visible offense in response. Continuing, Nishiki reiterates that it's either Tachibana's life or our life. They continue to argue about how Tachibana real estate got us into this mess in the first place, so they should be the ones to sacrifice. Kiryu, being the voice of reason, speaks up and tells Nishiki to ease off of Oda since he's still very hurt. We let them know that we knew this was gonna happen eventually, just thought it wouldn't be so soon. Thinking we're crazy, Nishiki asks if we're serious. Oda seemingly agrees, saying that even Tachibana didn't think they'd have to go up against the Dojima family before securing the lot. In Dojima's eyes, the single plot of land is worth more than 1 billion yen. If they could play it right, they'd be able to buy control over a large percentage of Kamurocho, becoming a force to be reckoned with. They never thought Dojima and his men would force them to act so quickly. Nishiki lets Oda know that they heavily underestimated Iwano and that, unlike Kuze, he's pretty smart. Oda says he needs to talk to Tachibana and hastily asks Reina to use her phone. As he waits for him to pick up, Oda thinks out loud, pondering if there's a way everyone can get out alive. Tachibana picks up and Oda fills him up to speed. Throwing a curveball at us, Oda hurriedly tells him that he needs to hide as fast as possible and he doesn't think that he can trust us anymore. Oda tries to protest, but we hold him back. Before we can do more, Oda hangs the phone up. Oda, seemingly solving the problem on his side, says even he doesn't know where the boss is gonna be now and includes that it's nothing personal. We apologize to Reina for all the trouble that we brought in. Surprised we're worrying about her, she asks what our plan is now. We say that panicking is worthless right now and we knew that this was gonna happen when we became a lone wolf. Nishiki voices that he thinks we're an idiot for thinking we could do this alone. Regardless, it's our only choice. With that, we leave Serena. Exiting the bar, we plan to visit the empty lot since the cops have let up and head straight there. Making a beeline there, we walk in and see the dried bloodstain left by a man we see in a flashback. As we try to remember, Tachibana enters behind us and we meet face to face with him again. We greet him, then ask why he's here. He tells us that the police already ran through the place, so any evidence that could be helpful in finding the real gunman is now gone. We reply this is already known. Tachibana says he looked into Kuze using his network and says, if he was the mastermind, he must have hired a hitman for the hit, but he left no sign of doing so. We ask what he means, and he says the one who set us up was most likely not him. Someone else is behind this all. We question it, but that's all the info Tachibana has for us so far. But he wanted to make sure we heard it in person. He lets us know he has no intention of leaving Kamurocho. He believes that this is all well within their abilities to control. We respond that Oda didn't think so, but Tachibana hasn't updated him on that or that he has found the owner of the empty lot but hasn't talked to them yet. He goes on to explain that if we can get the lot from them, the Dojima family will come to us with their tails between their legs begging for the chance to buy it from us. Now that we know how important the lot can potentially be, we're told we have to stay alive at least until the deal is completed. All we want to know is for how long. He says he only needs 1 day, but we can't tell us all about it. We let him know we have the opportunity to hand him off to Iwano and get off the Dojima hit list, but Tachibana knows we aren't the type of person. He tells us he'll get in touch tomorrow and to stay safe and await the Dojima family's clutches. Leaving us with that, he turns around and leaves while we plan on heading home to rest. As the screen fades on us sleeping, we have a scene with the Dojima lieutenants gathered in a room talking about Kiryu not giving up Tachibana. Iwano tells one of his underlings to call up Dojima. Kuze looks visibly upset. Picking up, Iwano informs Dojima that he's going to have to kill us since we won't sell out Tachibana. He is told things we can't hear and he hangs up. He asks Kuze if he's fine with it. Kuze doesn't know why Iwano cares about his opinion and that Iwano is the head on this mission, not him. Iwano replies that he wants to make things fair for everyone. He then turns to Kashiwagi and asks if Kazuma knows the plan as well, since he brought in Kiryu originally. And since his family did, they all should be working harder than everyone to get revenge on us. With them all in agreement, the hunt begins. Kuze stands and begins to give instructions. The grunts must find Kiryu and bring him to the lieutenants without killing him. Kuze wants him on his knees in front of him. Kinda suspect, but okay. Moving on. The low-grade Yakuza head out and we see Nishiki behind them. He locks eyes with Kashiwagi who nods at him and the screen fades to black. Regaining control of Kiryu back in Kamurocho, we have to wait for Tachibana to get in touch, so we run around the city until we come face to face with the group of Dojima family thugs. Leader tells an underling to get reinforcements. He says there's no escape. We aren't scared to go all out on them all. After running, then fighting, then running, then fighting, then running, then we get a lead on our pursuers and meet a stripper outside her club smoking a cigarette. She can tell the Yakuza is after us and offers to show us a way away from this part of town. We ask why she wants to help us and she suspiciously knows that it's the Dojima family that's after us and shares our disdain of them. She hits on us then leads us in. Entering the sewer, we learn it leads to the theater square. We need to hurry and get out of here because the Dojima family is outside the club looking for us. We tell the stripper that we'll eventually be back as a paying customer and walk off into the sewer. She whispers that we won't get the chance to do so under her breath. As we run down the stinky wet tunnel, a bright light blinds us before getting closer. It's a motorcycle and riding it is Kuze wielding a steel pipe. We brace ourselves to block the hit and we both spill out onto the ground from the impact. As Kuze approaches us, we realize the woman was a plant by him. He continues coming closer while giving us advice about the Yakuza business. It's not about who can beat down who. The Yakuza business is about who can tough it out to the very end. In the Yakuza life, there are no knockouts. He doesn't care if he loses fingers, if he doesn't get the captain spot. As long as as he lives, he'll never back down. Us leaving the Yakuza is why he hates us so much. He then attacks us, triggering a boss fight. We stomp his ribcage in and he collapses. As we stand over him, we pick up his pipe, inspect him momentarily, then toss it aside. Seeing us turn and walk away, Yakuza says we'll regret not killing him right here, right now. Reciting what he said before, we say we couldn't make it as the Yakuza, and Kazuma has always known that, which is why he didn't want us to join in the first place. Acknowledging that Yakuza is more of a right fit for a Yakuza, we say that even we have our own sense of pride, which we plan to stick to. We let him know that, no matter how many times he stands in our way, we'll always make it through, then proceed to walk off into the depths of the sewer. After walking for a while, we come to a door that leads us out of the sewer. Entering, we walk across the room to another door, which opens into another club. We question where we are before finding Wano busting it down on the dance floor with a hot babe. He sees us and says he's been waiting for us. Not surprised, Yakuza failed to stop us. Wano shares a kiss with the girl, then asks why we didn't call the day before, saying he was waiting the whole night. After he tells us to join him, we ask if he's fucking with us, since we thought he was trying to kill us. As we try to walk away, not wanting to partake, the lights shut off. It's serious time. Wano stops us, saying he's grateful that we gave him ammo to take down Kazuma and Yakuza, who have been standing in his way. He says he wants to help us out to repay a little bit of what we did for him. There's no way out once we try to leave, so I might as well hear him out first. He yaps for a while until we say we're gonna leave if he doesn't hurry it up. After his golf excursion, he took a detour to our old home, Sunflower Orphanage. He insults the place and says he met the man running it. He told him he works with Kazuma, gave him $1,000,000 yen, and calls him a sweet guy. He threatens us by letting us know that even if we make it out of here, we'll have nowhere to go. Everyone in the Yakuza has their job. His just happens to be extortion. He doesn't care about being a proper Yakuza. He only cares about living a good, luxurious life. He doesn't treat the Yakuza like a lifestyle, only as a job and a means to an end. Tempting us to join him, he tells us we only need to give up Tachibana to join him in the good life, or we can die a useless death full of excruciating pain. We just made it, no reason to give it up now. We ask if that's his extortion attempt and effortlessly remove his hand from our shoulder, insulting his method. As we try to walk off, a gunshot is heard. We turn and see what happened and are presented to the lifeless body of the girl from earlier, a gaping gunshot wound in her chest. Wano points a gun at us and pulls a Goldberg, saying we're next. He says he has 100 men outside, all with guns. This may be a job for him, but he always gets the job done. Wano offers us one last choice. Either get shredded outside or join him and chase the dream. As he finishes, he says it's our choice and throws the gun aside. Making an easy decision, we turn down his offer and go to leave, saying we don't care if we live or if we die. He tries to call our bluff, but we explain that he makes decisions based on what's fun. We make decisions based on whether we love the idea or hate it. We're leaving for one simple reason. Kiryu hates the idea of joining someone like Wano. Finishing, we say that we'd rather get shot and go to face our fate. Thinking this is the end, we take a deep breath, close our eyes, and push the door open forcefully. As we open our eyes, we realize Wano is bluffing and that he had no one outside. While the lady's corpse lies on the floor bleeding, Wano sits on the stairs and sparks up a cigarette. Exhaling smoke, he realizes that threats don't work on idiots. We walk momentarily until a car pulls up, driven by Nishiki. He tells us to get in quickly, before Wano comes out looking for us. We hop into the back seat and lie low as Nishiki instructs us. As we say that he could become a target as well for helping us, he tells us that this is the last time he'll be able to help us. They have all of Kamurocho covered. If we want to get a breather from them, we have to get out of the city. Nishiki plans to drive us completely out of Tokyo to buy us some time. After driving for some time, we approach a wooded clearing, sealed off with a chain and sign. This is our destination. Nishiki wakes us as we had fallen asleep during the drive. We look around curiously for a moment as Nishiki steps out of the car. We soon follow suit. Stepping next to him, we ask where we are. He has no idea as he just kept going. Popping a cigarette in his mouth, he asks if we want one as well. Nishiki begins patting his pockets looking for his lighter, but we bummed it from him earlier. Taking it out, we light both of our death sticks. We try to give it back, but he tells us to keep it and that he'll never ask for it again. He walks behind us as we put it back into our pocket and take a drag. Nishiki tells us to savor it before the camera pans to show a gun pointed to our head. Cocking the gun back, he lets us know that this is our last smoke, so we better make it count. Hoping he's joking, we ask if this is a little too far to be going for a prank. As we turn and try to have him put it down, he screams for us to stop and that it's too late. There are no other options. He wants to know where everything went wrong. We inquire if the family's making him do this, but this is of his own will. He thinks he's giving us the easy way out, a way out without pure torture and despair, even making us watch as they dissect us. He doesn't want us to go like that. He cares about us too much. Nishiki acknowledges that he might be done as a Yakuza as well, same with Kazuma. At least he thinks he can keep us from dying in pain. He cries that all he can do is make it quick and painless for us. We turn and apologize for putting him through all of this. Our final request is that, after Nishiki nails us, he brings our head to the Dojima family and uses it to make his way to the top of the Yakuza world. As we ask him to promise us, he begins to cry more. He begins to back up, begging us to not look at him. Demanding he man up and do it, we remind him that he can't make it to the top by being a bitch. Closing his eyes, Nishiki fires off a shot which misses Kiryu entirely. He can't do it. He can't kill his sworn brother. We share the same sentiment in not being alive without one another, leading to us saying that we're still just like kids. We got into something way over our head, thinking that dying will fix everything. We weren't even met before we tried to become Yakuza. Nishiki cries and Kiryu tells him to man up. We tell him to just forget everything. Forget that he saw us. Forget this ever happened. Heading to the car, Nishiki asks where we're going. We're going back to Kamurocho to finish up some business we left hanging. We ask him to let us do what we're destined to do. Continuing on, we say we're no longer able to be sworn brothers, and that we don't want Nishiki to be involved with us at all. We step into the car, turn it on, and drive off, leaving Nishiki in the woods. He breaks down and screams as the screen fades to black.